You're driving down a deserted road, the GPS leading you further and further away from civilization. The trees seem to close in around you, casting long, ominous shadows on the ground. And then, you see it, a faint light in the distance, a beacon of hope in the darkness. But as you get closer, you realize it's not a welcoming sign, it's a crime scene, and you're about to stumble into a nightmare that will haunt you forever. You find yourself standing at the edge of a dense forest, the trees towering above you like sentinels. The air is crisp and clean, filled with the scent of pine and damp earth. But as you venture deeper into the woods, the atmosphere shifts, and you begin to feel a sense of unease. It's as if you're being watched, and the trees seem to be closing in around you. This is where it all started, the place where the first body was found, and the investigation into the Lake County serial killer began. As you walk through the forest, the silence is oppressive, punctuated only by the sound of leaves crunching beneath your feet. You can't shake the feeling that you're being led deeper into the heart of darkness, and that the truth is waiting for you just out of sight. You're a detective, tasked with unraveling the mystery of the Lake County serial killer. You've been working tirelessly, following every lead, every tip, every hint. And then, it happens, you stumble upon a piece of evidence that changes everything. A small, almost imperceptible detail that reveals the killer's true identity. As you hold the evidence in your hands, you can't help but feel a sense of excitement, of trepidation. You know that you're one step closer to catching the killer, but you also know that you're running out of time. The killer is still out there, and they're not going to stop until they've claimed their next victim. You can feel the weight of responsibility on your shoulders, the burden of knowing that you're the only one who can stop the killer. And as you look at the evidence, you begin to piece together the events of that fateful night, the night that changed everything. You're now part of the investigation, working alongside the detectives to uncover the truth. You're poring over the evidence, looking for any clues that might lead you to the killer. You're interviewing witnesses, searching for anyone who might have seen or heard something. And as you dig deeper, you begin to realize that nothing is as it seems. The killer is cunning, always one step ahead of the game. But you're determined to catch them, to bring them to justice. You're working tirelessly, following every lead, every tip, every hint. And as you get closer to the truth, you can feel the tension building, the sense of anticipation growing. You know that you're getting close, but you also know that the killer is getting desperate. They'll stop at nothing to avoid being caught, and you're the only one standing in their way. You think you know the truth, but then, a twist throws everything off balance. The killer is not who you expected, and the motives are more complex than you ever imagined. You're forced to re-examine the evidence, to rethink everything you thought you knew. And as you do, you begin to realize that the truth is far more sinister than you ever could have imagined. The killer is not just a monster, but a mastermind, always staying one step ahead of the game. You're left wondering how you missed the signs, how you didn't see it coming. But as you look back, you realize that the clues were there all along, hiding in plain sight. And now, you're faced with a new question: what's next? Will you be able to catch the killer before they strike again, or will you become their next victim? The case is closed, the killer is behind bars, but the aftermath is just beginning. You're left to pick up the pieces, to try and make sense of the senseless. You're haunted by the memories of the victims, the families torn apart by the killer's actions. And as you look back, you realize that the true horror is not the killer themselves, but the impact they've had on the community. You're left wondering how the community will heal, how they will move on from this tragedy. And as you walk through the streets, you can feel the weight of grief, the sense of loss that hangs in the air. You know that it will take time, but you also know that the community will come together, that they will find a way to heal and move on. It's been years since the case was closed, but the memories still linger. You're left to wonder what could have been done differently, how the killer could have been caught sooner. And as you look back, you realize that the truth is complex, multifaceted. The killer was not just a monster, but a product of their environment, a result of the circumstances that shaped them. You're left with a sense of unease, a sense of uncertainty. You know that there are still killers out there, waiting to strike, and that the next victim could be anyone. And as you walk away from the case, you can't help but feel a sense of responsibility, a sense of duty to ensure that justice is served. You know that you've made a difference, but you also know that there's still much work to be done. The question remains, what's next? Will you be able to prevent the next tragedy, or will you become a part of it? As you finish watching this video, you're left with a sense of unease, a sense of uncertainty. You're wondering what's next, what other cases are waiting to be solved. If you want to stay up to date on the latest true crime cases, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. And if you have a theory about the Lake County serial killer, be sure to leave it in the comments below. But as you click away, you can't shake the feeling that you're being watched, that the killer is still out there, waiting for their next victim. The question remains, will you be next?